Welcome back, YouTubers. It's the Raw review of us, the British Fist.
Ka-ching.
I am Mr. Parkin, and this guy sitting next to me is NJ.
What's up?
Make sure you guys subscribe up above as usual, like this video as usual, and comment your thoughts down on the Raw show down below as usual.
And please contact us in the links in the description box below.
I botched more than the Divas match tonight in that intro, didn't I? Anyway, very strange Raw this week, wasn't it? With the whole walkout thing, we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know what was going to go on for the pay-per-view. But we opened up with no commentators.
Nope.
And which they showed an empty arena and Triple H walking out to the arena on his own, cutting a very jaded figure.
Looking all positive, even though he realised that no one's hardly in the arena, and he just comes straight out to the ring, all proud, giving the crowds their shaking hands and that, and then he gets to the ring.
All the other guys were having a protest in the parking lot, weren't they? He walks to the ring, like NJ said. He talks a little bit about the walkout last week and how he's disappointed with all the people. He's not going to quit his job, and he wants to give the fans a show because he's a babyface COO, isn't he?
And what he'll do is, if he had to, as the show's going to go on, he'll fight a mob, and then he'll just say that he's going to give the crowd exactly what they want. He's going to give them a good show.
And do you know what the crowd want? A British Fist tag team title shot.
That would be a really, really good idea, WWE.
You also, in this segment, you had Triple H there, you had Cena and Sheamus and Punk coming out. They wanting to be on Raw, showing that they want to be part of the show and that they support Triple H.
Yeah, I was kind of like, I don't normally say this, but having Cena saying his good stuff about him being on Raw and him supporting Triple H, Sheamus saying supporting Triple H after their feud, CM Punk having his say. Again, it was just a good opener of them all having their mic time.
Yeah, it did go on for a bit of a while though, didn't it?
It did, dragged on a bit, but again, it was a effective opener.
Triple H announces Sheamus versus John Cena, and that Punk is going to be on commentary.
Yeah!
And he can even wear Triple H's blazer.
That's a very good thing, because we're getting Triple H as the referee of this face versus face match. Look past that, we have Punk on commentary, and we all love that.
Yeah, so I guess an effective opener in the sense that it's at least started the show. You have John Cena, you have all the main faces there, and it set us up with a match, which we would soon find out wouldn't really mean that much because something way more important was about to happen than the actual match itself, wasn't it?
We had the return of Vince McMahon.
Yes, and he comes out and says that as much as he believes in Triple H, there are so many risks involved in this whole walkout, and there is in a business such as WWE. And Vince tells Triple H that he is relieved of his duties and that John Laurinaitis is the new face of Raw. Now, before we go into the nitty-gritty of this, the one thing I liked about this was the fact that the show can fucking continue and we can get some damn pay-per-view hype rather than this whole walkout shit, which I really didn't like. And that's one of the reasons I kind of like this segment. I know you have different feelings, though, with your boy getting fired.
That freaking jerk of a mouse that can't speak properly, Laurinaitis, is the Raw GM. I'm hoping WWE have creative ideas and it's not going to last long.
Survivor Series, I think that's the key here. Team Laurinaitis versus Team Triple H at Survivor Series. I think that's what they're trying to build up for this. So don't expect Laurinaitis to be the Raw GM for too long because
thank God.
You know, the guy can't talk. He doesn't cut any presence in the ring. He's not getting heel heat. The fans just hate him because he sucks.
And as you see from his GM skills tonight, he's not the best creative mind.
The guy just can't talk. He's just unbelievably bad on the mic, isn't he?
I don't like it at all.
So we're thinking this is going to set up Survivor Series. So in that sense, it achieved what it was supposed to achieve, sort of an early build for Survivor Series, and at least the show is back. At least this walkout shit is finally fucking over. That's all I can say, because I hated that whole shit.
But again, things could still get worse knowing the WWE and with Laurinaitis in charge.
We have Laurinaitis backstage with the superstars. He's, giving them all pats on the back and hooray, and he puts John Morrison in a match against Christian next. We get the commentators returning. It's like the show is back to normal.
The biggest thing I want to say about this, you usually have the commentators come out good, they're all there, good, all together again, all happy. But you have John Morrison in a match against someone that is in the main events, doing well for himself. So we know what's coming here.
We got John Morrison versus Christian. Just guess what happened in this match. They were in street clothes. The match lasted 1 minute, and you pretty much had Christian burying John Morrison with a big beat down with all the heels on the end.
Yeah, it's good that obviously they gave us like the whole heels work together. which they will do at probably Survivor Series. So it's good they gave us that feeling.
Yes, and that match didn't really achieve much, did it?
No, just to continue burying of John Morrison.
Just a bit of filler as well, I guess.
Yeah,
we have Del Rio and CM Punk announced for our main event, and we also have Orton versus Henry announced.
Again, when I first saw the main event, I thought, okay, that's really familiar there.
2 weeks ago.
Very true.
We had Orton and Henry at Hell in a Cell.
But that, after Hell in a Cell, you had the Orton attack. At Raw last week, you had their attack. So I think having this match made sense. So I was like, okay, I look forward to them wrapping their rivalry up for good in this main match.
And we get further sort of implementations of a Laurinaitis Triple H rivalry in a backstage segment where we feel this is all leading to the Survivor Series. It's very simple, isn't it? And it's kind of we've been thinking this might happen for a while now. Team Triple H versus Team Laurinaitis or Vince or something like that, and it's going to be Team Laurinaitis.
And I would really, really like to see Laurinaitis try and picking up his teeth with broken fingers.
Turn! Well, and our main event tonight, we had Mark Henry versus Randy Orton. This wasn't exactly the best match, but the segment itself did good for the two main, what I feel are going to be the two main SmackDown feuds. We got a Mark Henry promo building up the Mark Henry Big Show feud for Vengeance. We saw that they were going to have a match of Vengeance. And then we had the match. Went about 3 minutes.
The match itself, it was effective because obviously they were just trying to battle each other, so I give it that. But again, it weren't the match that was actually the importance of this segment.
Yes, it was more about furthering storylines, which maybe this Close to Vengeance you kind of need to do because we haven't had many matches announced. We have Randy Orton interfering and costing Orton the match, even though Randy Orton managed to RKO Mark Henry. And then you get these real seeds there of a Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton feud, which is something I personally have wanted to see for a long, long time.
My question for this is, again, I'm two-sided if you've heard of past reviews. You're having a Intercontinental Champion going against the World Heavyweight, and I possibly think, okay, even though that Cody Rhodes not been put over himself, that is his problem. But he's a mid-card champ. He should be going against other mid-carders. But again, this segment, he just proved himself as a strong competitor.
Yes, even though he needed Henry to give Orton 2 world strongest times, the match ended unclean, and Orton crossroads Orton and gives him and bags him. And it's just like, it's a good way to introduce Rhodes and Orton rivalry. I just really hope that Orton doesn't go all politic on Rhodes and end up burying him.
Especially after this embarrassment, as Cody said that he gave Orton. After that, it's left us on a good feeling. It's left us a good feeling, good kick-off in their feud. A good feeling.
Yes, definitely. It's just a shame we had a Divas match after this, which really didn't do much for me.
No, again, when we think of Divas, again, there's no chance of them getting better. There was a slight feeling weeks ago, but that's quickly gone in the flash now.
Kelly and Eve are reuniting as a tag team versus Rosa and Tamina. Not very often you get to see these on TV, so we knew what was going to happen here. KK and Evie getting the victory, I suppose. The whole segment was to show Kelly's aggression, and while I don't mind that because you've got to make her at least look competitive, the match was a botch fest. It was unbelievable. It was even worse than my botch at the beginning of the video.
Well, we can look past that because this match was a lot worse. And the thing is, the match finishes, of course, with the faces winning.
Yeah.
And Laurinaitis comes out, and I thought, okay, he's going to book us a Divas match. Good. We need a match booked for Vengeance.
Nah, he's doing he announced Del Rio versus John Cena for the WWE title of Vengeance, which I guess kind of makes sense because John Cena was locked out the cell. It's just
and he lost his championship, so he needs his rematch. Yeah.
And then he fires JR because he walked out. Well, if John Laurinaitis is going to do that, surely he should be firing the whole fucking roster because they walked out.
That is true, but the difference is, as Laurinaitis put it, that JR is a redneck.
Yeah. And while I might get a bit of heat for this, but while I know people like JR, but I really didn't think the whole JR being a third wheel was working for Raw. Do you know what I mean? It just wasn't working because we know he's a play-by-play guy. Having him as the third wheel, I think it'd be better with Lawler and Cole. In just my opinion.
Well, the way I look at it, Cole does bring a lot of heat, and Lawler brings a lot of face, so they work well together. But the same thing is, we've said this many, many times when JR was fired last time. We want to see Lawler and JR on commentary.
And Cole on SmackDown.
and Cole and SmackDown, or
managing.
But sadly, we're not getting that. So I look forward to seeing these two working well together.
Yes. Next, we have a 6-man tag match: Mason Ryan and Air Boom, who debuted a new theme tonight, which really does kind of show WWE might want to go the full distance with their tag team, versus Ziggler, Swagger, and David Otunga. The match got time. I have a feeling that there might be 2 feuds set up here. I'm not entirely sure, but it kind of showed me there might be.
Well, continuing from last week, we had, like I said, in that whatever that match was, that big
12-man tag match.
There was hints in there that Mason Ryan was going to have a feud with Dolph Ziggler somehow.
Yeah, and we did see that in this match because Mason Ryan pins Ziggler clean, and also we've got what we feel could be a Swagger and Otunga versus Air Boom, even though I'd rather see Drew McIntyre in there rather than David Otunga, personally.
But at the end of the match, Evan looked a bit out of it, so I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get better by Vengeance. They have Mason Ryan and Kofi versus...
Yeah, who knows?
But whatever goes, this was an effective thing in somewhat, because it gave us a feeling of what possibly could happen later on.
Yes, I think Raw did a decent job of that tonight, despite it not being the best of Raws. But we'll go on to that at the end. And then we had our main event: Alberto Del Rio versus CM Punk in what was the rivalry born from SummerSlam. Since when have these two been like really rivaling that much?
Not possible. But the thing is, with this match, for it to add up, Del Rio's got a match at Vengeance, so he needs to be the one to come out looking strong.
And then we got this match for 5 minutes, which was going along quite well, until John Laurinaitis comes out and does a Teddy Long on our asses and announces that it's going to be Punk and Del Rio versus the returning of Awesome Truth. Now, I didn't feel this was the best way to return Miz and R-Truth, personally. Did you?
No, because in this match now, we've got babyface CM Punk and heel...
temporary babyface Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah, and I just really thought that sucked, because when you look at it, these two are not happy with each other. They both had that rivalry at Hell in a Cell and that. So for them to team up against these two heels, I just thought, for flip's sake, what the hell are you doing?
I just really didn't like this return of Miz. I just think it wasn't done very well. It wasn't very well done, if you know what I mean. I didn't feel it was the best. But we got Punk and Del Rio versus Miz and Truth in the actual main event of the evening. We had Del Rio walk out.
They walked out, but Awesome Truth...
My quad is hurting from Mexico.
And Awesome Truth looked dominant throughout the match. But the thing is, it looks like Alberto Del Rio is doing his old chicken thing, leaving the match and leaving Punk to it. But yeah, Punk tried to survive.
Trunk. I called him Trunk for a minute there. Punk tried to survive. Miz and R-Truth get CM Punk gets a DQ victory when Miz and R-Truth beat on him for like a second and the referee calls for a DQ for some reason. And then who comes out to save the day? No, not John Cena, everybody. Not John Cena. Take it away, MJ.
Triple H! Yes! Yes! He saved the show for me! Yes! He came in there and they started pounding on Awesome Truth, who did that stupid thing at Hell in a Cell. They got involved in the Hell in a Cell, took up the referees, attacked the 3, and you saw how furious Triple H was. So for Triple H to get his revenge, I thought, bam, yeah.
I will say this, it did well to set up a match between Punk, Triple H and Miz and Truth at the pay-per-view, as afterwards we had John Laurinaitis announcing the match at Vengeance. But weren't Triple H and Punk feuding like 3 weeks ago? Just saying. And
but at the beginning of Raw, we did get Punk explaining why he's on Triple H's side, so it does flow nicely to this main event.
I guess. I don't know.
The opening fixed their friendship because CM Punk was saying, "I'm on your side, Triple H."
One opening.
Well,
3 weeks ago, like 4 weeks ago, they were bashing each other on the mic, personally.
But I guess with this whole, breakup of the wrestlers...
The one common purpose thing, I guess.
That's it. So
kind of like Angle and Anderson versus Immortal in TNA or something.
Something like that, yeah.
So after that main event, we got 3 matches booked for the pay-per-view, which was decent. Not as many as I would have liked. Raw seemed to set up a lot of possible angles, didn't it? With the whole Team Triple H, Team Laurinaitis couple of pay-per-view matches, a couple of feuds we might be seeing. It's just a shame we only had 3 matches announced on pay-per-view, even though they've only got 2 weeks.
There's that big sign near the ramp where it says 2 weeks till Vengeance. People are walking past, like, noticing that, and we don't really get enough matches announced for us to flow onto it. But again, the night did give us possible feuds, possible matches that could happen.
Well, we had the whole dramatic opener for 30 minutes, and then the show continued as normal, and we actually got some pay-per-view hype, which is one of the reasons this is why I didn't think the show was terrible. The show was hurt a lot by adverts, in my opinion, which was caused by the opener. Even though it's very important, it kind of really roughed up the flow of the show. Sometimes when you have a lot of adverts here and there and there, they were in decent places, but it still roughed up the flow of the show, in my opinion.
Yeah, there was many times that the adverts interfered in matches, which dragged out the feeling for them.
Overall thoughts on the grade then, MJ?
I
have a feeling we might be saying different things at this part.
Yeah, again, it gave us matches for Vengeance, so that's positive. It's the whole Triple H coming out and getting his revenge on Awesome Truth that actually saved it for me. A grade I can't really possibly think for at the minute. Okay,
well, what I'll say is the beginning of the show I thought was good, as it allowed us to finally fucking get on with the show and get rid of this fucking walkout storyline, which in my opinion was really ridiculous. So at least having John Laurinaitis there means the show can go on. We had some feuds shown throughout the night. We got 3 matches announced on pay-per-view. I enjoyed the Mark Henry, Cody Rhodes, Orton segment. Vincent McMahon returning was pretty good. And the main event was a little bit weird, and I didn't like the way they introduced Miz and Truth, but it was okay. I didn't mind the show this week. It was a C for me. C plus C, maybe.
Mine will get a C, close to C minus, yeah.
Alright then. So, you've heard our thoughts on Raw. Unless you have any more, I'm going to give it to them out there to give them their thoughts.
So guys, please share your thoughts on this Raw we just had. From Twitter, from Facebook, we have different views on this show. Share your thoughts. And that's been it from Mr. Parkin. And me, NJ. What's up? Goodbye.